and my favorite color is green. And fruit only I have to tell, ma'am.
Yes. You have to tell. You have to tell what talent you have.
Oh, okay. I'm Uttara. My passion is writing a lot of poems and reading books. Yeah.
Okay. You can call out one other name.
Okay. I think anybody said strawberry, kiwi, because I can't see where you guys are seeing, and that's why.
Okay, so.
Oh, okay. I got it from the participation, right? Okay. Blue guava.
Blue guava.
Blue. Yes. I'll rename myself as well.
Where is blue guava? Not here.
Yes, I'm here. I'm outside. My name is Ananthi. I hope you all can hear me. I joined very late.
No problem. No problem. Quick. Just tell us one talent you have. Yeah.
So I like reading and I like to do a lot of service. So
okay. You can call out one other name. I think red guava hasn't got a chance.
Is it? Okay then.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like dancing and I like to read books. This is Anupriya Chandran. So I'd like to call upon Red Raspberry.
That'll be the last person, okay? Red Raspberry. Okay, so there isn't, Red Raspberry is not reachable. Okay, so welcome to, how many of you remember, apart from these, how many of you remember the names of at least 5 people? You just look at the name given here and then try to recollect name of the person. Let's see how many you're able to recollect. At least 5?
Red mango, green watermelon, mauve pear.
No. Okay, no, who is Red Mango? What's her name?
Acha, like that. I think mauve pear is Udaya, and watermelon was Auntie, Bala Auntie, green watermelon.
No, green watermelon is not Bala Auntie.
Okay.
Okay, any ones that you remember, you can just all of you can just unmute and tell.
Red apple is Mamta, and the magenta guava is Bala Aunty, and
sorry, green watermelon is Sheila Aunty.
Okay.
And
anybody else who wants to give it a try?
I think blue guava is Ananthi. The last one.
Blue guava.
Magenta guava is Bala Aunty.
Yes.
Yellow mango is Lavanya. And mauve pear is Udaya. Actually, we can see their photos.
Faces,
so that's
why
it's
see, that's why I asked you if you guys know each other.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you if you guys know each other. Wonderful. So we all know that this entire session is going to be an online session, right? So these are small things you could use. Of course, here, because you have one system to yourself, I'm asking you to rename, but you could start off your session with a game, with any kind of game, so that it becomes, you have the students interested in what you are saying. So I just thought I will start off with a game, so that a game where we can even understand about each other. So we know that all of you have many talents. We have people who can do embroidery, to people who can dance, to people who can write poems and stories. So we have a variety of interests. So we could always start off you could always start off your session with a game. So thank you for actively participating. Let's plunge into what we are going to see. So we know that we are going to be working with this NGO and we are going to be working with students who are class 7 to 9. Okay, so that is the age group, and mostly they're from Tamil medium, and you will have them, their level of language would be really low in terms of even vocabulary. They will struggle for words. So those are the kind of students you're going to be working with, and it is going to be online. We've requested them to have 5 students in front of one system. So it's typically going to be 5:1. I'm right, Uday, I'm right on this? We are trying to get 5:1, right?
Yes.
And what are we going to do? We're going to do a communicative English training. So that is what we're going to do. So the overall objective of this program is, at the end of the program, whenever we want to kind of end it so many hours, we want them to be able to kind of say a few things. We want their vocabulary to be better. We want them to be able to say few things on their own. We want them to be able to make conversations on their own. So these are the things that we are looking at overall. So for doing something like that, we need to work with them specifically on certain things that we have to work with them. So because considering that these are 7th standard to 9th standard students, they may not have too much vocabulary, they may not have too much language. So as facilitators, I don't want to call us teachers, we are all facilitators who are going to help them learn the language. So as facilitators, our role will be to actually provide them with the language first. A lot of times what happens is that they don't speak because they don't have the language, or they don't have the knowledge of the language. In my experience, having worked with children like this, they'll come and ask, what do I say for this? What do I say for that? So they have a lot of questions like that. So in our program, I would like us to work extensively on vocabulary building. Okay, when they have a lot of vocabulary, then it becomes easy for them to kind of remind themselves. A lot of times they don't know what to say. They may say that, I don't know what to say for Chitti. I'm going to my, Atte's house. I don't know what to say. So these are the kind of questions they will have. These are the kind of, gaps they will have. So we will have to do extensive thing on vocabulary. Now, how do we do this online? Okay, there is a lot of, how do we teach them vocabulary online? There are lots of online tools that we can use to teach them vocabulary. So, in my opinion, you could take themes every day. For example, you could have, the theme of, say, school. School is the theme. And this could be woven something like this could be, you could tell them a story in which there are lots of words that appear. For example, today, this morning, in the morning, Raja went to a school. In his school, he was sitting in the last bench. So you're teaching them vocabulary like bench. The table was broken, right? The blackboard was very far for him. He could not see the board. So when you develop a story kind of a thing and then weave vocabulary into it, it is easy for students to retain. So think of, pick up stories that, you can tell students that you can use in the classroom. So these are stories that you can write on your own. You don't have to pick up stories that are, you could pick up stories that are already written, but you could develop your own set of things. So in the vocabulary build pannite ponona, in some time they will have a lot of vocabulary that they will be able to use. So using vocabulary is one technique that we could follow. The other thing is giving them that language. What would they require? One of the most important skills is to ask questions. Asking the right kind of questions. Indiala namakku romba easyana vishayam enna nama statements e question ah maathiruvom. Nariya tharava that is what we do. So it's a very typical maybe Asian way of speaking. I haven't seen so much of other country people do that, but in the Asian countries, especially India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, we all have this unique way of turning statements into questions. நம்ம சவுத் இந்தியால ஜாஸ்தி you're coming அப்படின்னு கேட்டானா question, no, are you coming வராது, you're coming that's what that அப்படின்னு இழுத்தோம்னா அது question. We understand the intonation, so we kind of turn that around into a question. So we want to tell them how to ask questions. So that is a skill. So you know that the W and the H questions இருக்குன்றது நமக்கு தெரியும். So we have to help them to ask questions. So இப்போ questionsல ரெண்டு விதம் இருக்கு. Okay, there are two kinds of questions that they can ask. One where you will have an answer, yes or no. The other where you will actually get an answer. For example, what is your name fetches you an answer that is not yes or no. So that is called a
Open-ended and closed-ended.
Yeah. So open-ended and closed-ended questions. So closed-ended questions, you will only get yes or no, of course, with a supplementary answer that comes along. So we need to teach them how to ask these questions. So enna pannalam, we want to teach them questions. How do you think you can teach them? Before I actually do this, do any of you have teaching experience? Are you teachers?
Not exactly trainers, some of them.
Okay, so some of you are trainers.
That would be
Informal
me.
training is also fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to kind of throw some, I don't want to kind of give you a schedule. I'm just throwing some ideas on you that you can incorporate in, in for the classroom that you can. So have theme-based lessons, have one theme each day. Teach them aspects of language. For example, if you want them to only do yes or no questions, what can we do to get them only to do yes or no questions? Any ideas?
We can ask about their likes, give them the option.
Okay.
Do you like to go out for a movie, or do you yes or no, or do you name a particular food, particular color, something like that. That'll have an closed.
Okay.
Definitely. And if you have to talk about themselves, say something about yourself, then that becomes an open-ended.
We'll only think about close-ended questions now. We'll just think about what kind of close-ended. We'll remember that they are school students and their exposure will be very limited. They're all children from homes. So sometimes we have to be really careful about examples we give them also. So let's just keep that in mind. Sometimes asking about family will cause a lot of mental trauma to them because they are from broken families. They they miss their parents sometimes if they have their parents living elsewhere and they're in homes. So we have to really carefully choose our examples also. Even example sentences let's remember that these are children who are living far away from home. So in the general so mango tree or things like that, it'll be good if we use examples like that. So ipo yes or no questions, one of the things we could do is say is this a shoe?
Okay.
Is this a shoe? So they're going to say, obviously say no. So what is this? This is a sellotape. So now you have two different kinds of questions coming in the same thing. When you asked, is this a shoe? You've told them, you've taught them how to ask a close-ended question. The next question was, so what is this? Right? So this way you can use any number of, so this is actually this is a you have two oracle types. Okay, so you're teaching them vocabulary, so choose items that they may not know. Okay, so now they'll say this is tape. What is this brown color tape? What is that? Cello ma'am adu ottradhukku use பண்ணுவோம், அதுக்கு என்ன பேருன்னு தெரியாது. They may come up with things like that. So you can teach them that this is a tape, you use it for sticking, right? So like that, so teaching them how to ask questions is very, very important. So those are things you could try. So you can so in the is this idu nama or item kekumbodhu they will either say yes, they will either say no. So this is idu practice pannite varumbodhu they will know that இந்த மாதிரி question கேட்டா இதுக்கு yes or no பதில் தான் சொல்லுவோம். Okay, so start off with things like that. You could do that as a quiz for every day ஒரு 4-5 words அவங்களுக்கு சொல்லி கொடுக்குற மாதிரி you could do that. Other kind of questions, வெறும் what வச்சு மட்டும் என்னெல்லாம் கேட்கலாம். You can ask what is your name, what is the name of your school. So what அப்படின்னு கேட்கும்போது what are you doing. So what வச்சு நம்ம என்னெல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். So அந்த மாதிரி. So when you ask when, that means you're talking about time.
Fine.
So what are the different things you can ask about using what? Sorry, using when. So when do you go to school? When do you sleep? When do you eat? So on the entire schedule you can do with the question when. So if you ask how do you use, what do you use how for? So how do you make a boat? How do you make, how do you write L? How do you, so action la L. So in the mari letters along kuda you can make them practice. So like that, each question, what answer would you get? Where abdina, it's always about a place. Okay, so give them that connection. So then they will know where in the question vanda namak answer has to be a place. It can be playground, illa it can be Chennai, illa it can be home, it can be anything. So like that, help them make that connection between that question word and the answer. So then, they'll understand, okay, இந்த மாதிரி கேள்வி கேட்டா இந்த மாதிரி பதில் சொல்லணும். So this is one thing you could do. Another very, very powerful thing for oral fluency, that is to build oral fluency, is what is called show and tell. You must have any of you with children going to pre-KG and all, you know what show and tell is. In your schools, they will insist that you do show and tell. You start, show and tell is such a powerful tool to make them speak. So show and tell க்கு வந்து நாம அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஃபார்மேட் கொடுத்துடலாம் ஆரம்பத்துல. You can make them say, இப்போ இந்த வைவ் நம்ம questions teach பண்றோம்ல, so அதை அப்படியே வச்சு, so first what is it, what do you use it for, where can you buy it, when do you use it. So இந்த மாதிரி questions எல்லாம் ஆன்சர் பண்ணா அவங்க show and tell is ready. For example, let's this, what is this?
Ink.
This is an ink bottle. Where will you get this?
From a shop, stationery.
You get this from a shop. What color is it?
It is in blue color.
Just blue color. Where do you put this ink?
It will be filled in pen.
Into the pen, right? So either madri you ask them different questions and then help them put all those sentences together. They have the show and tell ready. So do this model. So எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஒரு model பண்ணிட்டோம்னா then it will become easy for them. So do this model. So collect a lot of items and keep, so you can, show one after the other. So enna aguna by that, and help them speak the full sentence. Usually the காமிக்கும் போது they'll say ink. So to help them to say this fully, this is an ink bottle. Okay, this is an ink bottle. So அவங்க எழுதவே வேணாம், எழுதாம வெறும் பேசி அவங்க வந்து oral fluency they can develop. So this is something that you can, that you can powerfully use. So show and tell with as many objects that you can find around. So you can ask them to, so next class varumbodhu ask each of them to bring something from their home. So they can bring a book, they can bring a water bottle, they can bring a plate, they can bring a spoon, fork, edhu vena eduthu varalam. So let them bring and talk about it. So show and tell. So that is, so in the every class you kind of give them a chance to speak. So when they speak on their own, they'll get அந்த ஒரு 4-5 class வரும்போது அவங்களுக்கே confidence வரும். Then help them add a little more. So they're going to talk about what that item is, what it feels like sometimes. Sometimes they can talk about how it feels to touch panna eppadi irukum. So in case they bring cotton from the first aid box, so how does it feel? It feels soft and fluffy. So teach them words like that. So இந்த மாதிரி நம்ம வந்து கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா அவங்களுக்கு இது பண்ணிட்டே போலாம். So themes for vocabulary அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, you can have them do things like, transportation, entertainment, media, இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய themes வச்சு kind of, you can also do things like teacher, student, who else will be there in the school, இதுல வேற என்ன இருக்கும், in your own organization, in your own the home la vera enna irukum, in an animal, in a zoo, who all will you find, If you go to a park, what will you find? So in the Mari, lot of themes you can have where, and clothing, different clothing. So you can have use a lot of images because we're doing this online. You can collect a lot of images and show them. So show them the image and give them the name. So dresses, shirt, pant, what is a kurta, what is a kurti. So various things, like shawl. And we can build a lot of vocabulary around it. The seasons you can do. So like that, keep building their vocabulary on different kinds of things. So in the two concepts நம்ம blend பண்ணி, so stories are very powerful. Vocabulary through stories you can do. Vocabulary through these, objects that you can show, you can do. So show and tell. இதை நம்ம பேட்டர்னா வச்சு பண்ணிட்டு வந்தாலே அவங்களுக்கு நல்ல oral fluency develop ஆயிடும். For this school level, that is enough. You don't have to do, you don't have to go invent anything new. So these ideas will be enough. I'll take you through some online resources that you can use. Idellame I'll send it through there. So ipo ungalku kaamikiren, but I will send it through there so that you can take a look at them on your own and prepare activities. One second. How many of you are voracious readers here?
Not sure about voracious, but reader. Yes.
But a reader, okay. Okay. I'm just waiting for that page to load. Just a moment. Yes, got it. So this Story Weaver is an amazing resource for stories that are graded age-wise. So you could actually project the advantage, you can flip pages and ask them to read each one page. You have you can log in through your Gmail or something like that. And for reading, you have different themes. There are many languages in this. Best thing is it's all, you have them level graded. So nama pasangalukku you could go for a level 2. So level 2 la pathingana there are many stories that you can pick from. And the best part about this is these stories are all Indian stories. So the students, children won't most times images audio, when you get good books they won't be able to relate to the characters, or when you get books from another country. These are all stories from India. So there are a lot of things they will be able to relate to. For example, now this is a beautiful story on this party who has a lot of equipment, and she's very resourceful, and all these stories are very positive. They have they take them at the end. They also have what the vocabulary that the students will learn from it, Anamari. So you can flip it like a book and read. I got logged in and I kept it. One second, just log in. So you can log in with your Gmail and classla you can also kind of you can read the story or you can make them read. So the interface will actually be like this. So they'll be able to see it on a big screen. I think they're all getting big screens. So, you have pictures they'll be able to relate to, the scenes they will be able to kind of be able to relate to. Now, these kind of words also you can teach them. Whoosh, whoomp. All these are sounds. They call something. I forget that name.
Exclamatory words.
Huh?
Exclamatory words, ma'am.
What? Sorry?
Exclamatory words.
Not exclamatory. இதுக்கு ஏதோ இந்த poetryல ஏதோ ஒரு இது இருக்கு. That's, words that denote sound. Anyway, so these are words that இது கேட்டாலே whoosh itself is a sound. Like vroom is for bike. So when the moment you say vroom, there's a motor car or motorbike moving. So on
TikTok.
ஒரு வித்தியாசமான word. Anyway, so
Words like TikTok, bang bang.
no, I didn't get that.
No, when you say sound words, words like TikTok, bang bang, all of that would indicate
All
some
of that,
sound or
yeah,
action,
all
right?
of that. அது எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஒரு பேர் ஒன்று இருக்கு. I will just get that. I will tell you. Okay, so you can also teach them words like that. So இதெல்லாம் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு when they are narrating, they will be able to use all this. So they can say that I stamped on a tomato and then squish it went. They can say things like that. So அவங்க animated அவங்கள பேசுறதுக்கு you can actually train them to do that. Okay? So when I'm angry, I say grrr, like that. So you can do all of that. Okay? So this actually, I'll take you to the last bit of the book. So this entire story is about inclined plane. It's like lever, wheel, axle. This story is about simple machines. So you can actually, there are stories that blend science. There are, concepts of math. இந்த மாதிரிலாம் blend பண்ணியிருக்கும். So this, they learn a lot of words through the story. So you could you could do something like this. Okay. So this is one resource. Another resource I wanted to show you is this. So this is in the games to learning English is it's an interactive game where you can ask them questions and you can actually move things around. For example, okay, let's take this. I'm just taking one simple game just to show you. So you can just, so it's like playing a lot of words, the game, all of them playing together. So now, they have to. So they hear button, so they have to say which is the button. This is like a basic thing. Idhula no better ones irukku. So you should say, okay, which is the button in this? So they'll help you find and then you can click on it. So this will help them with the pronunciation. Idhula the most interesting thing is the one on prepositions. There'll be, it'll say the wall hanging is on top of the shelf. So you'll have to say, okay, where should this go? Then they'll tell you on top of the shelf, which means ingiya angiya, and you can just kind of keep dragging it, kind of a thing. So this is one resource, so please explore it. Now, Pandava, can I paste the link on the chat? This is that word, sound words. Thank you, Udaya.
Onomatopoeic. Yeah.
Anupriya.
Onomatopoeia, yes. இந்த மாதிரி ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான வார்த்தையெல்லாம் வந்து
It's a figure of speech, right? Onomatopoeia.
This is games to learn English. So this is of resources that you can actually use. ஏன்னா அவங்களுக்கும் பசங்களுக்கும் பார்த்து இது பண்றதுக்கு, பட் இது ரொம்ப நேரம் பண்ணாதீங்க. They have to look at you and learn. So இது வந்து சும்மா என்னைக்காவது ஒரு நாளைக்கு, like about 10 minutes you can play with them using a resource like this. Similarly, there's something called a word wall. Word wall is also very, very good resource. Wordwall.net.
I used this a lot, Kavitha, last time.
Word wall. Word wall நிறைய இருக்கும்.
So much, yeah.
Yeah.
Like so many topics and interesting.
Word wall is one of my favorite. ஆமா இதுல நிறைய இருக்கும். இதுல வந்து ஆக்சுவலா நீங்க word wall you can sign in through your Google Gmail. எல்லாமே Gmail ஓட integrate பண்ணிட்டாங்க thanks to pandemic. So இதுல வந்து you can go to the community ல போய் you can search. Okay, so today I'm actually going to teach them something on say irregular past tense verbs. Okay, so இதுல வந்து ஏதோ புண்ணியவான் ஏற்கனவே ஆக்டிவிட்டி பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காங்க. You can just use that in the class. If you want to explore that, you can actually so இது வந்து there are different ways in which you can play the game. So இதுல வந்து you can make it like match the following. You could actually make it like a game show. Okay, so the game show mari பண்ணும்போது you can say okay, now I want you to answer the question. The entire interface is like a game. Okay, so now I would like you so and so to answer the question. Which is the right answer? So they'll say okay, ran. And the mother, you can actually run it like a game show. Okay, so if they want extra time, you can click on extra time. So இது அப்படியே அந்த இது மாதிரி இருக்கும்பா. நம்ம what is that இந்த கான்வனிகாக்க ரோட் பத்தி டைப்ல இருக்கும் இது. Okay, so like that you can use any of so you can choose to keep the music effect on or off. So this is another helpful resource. Okay, so those of you who are tech savvy, you can explore these resources that are there.
Yeah, even the spinner wheel.
Spinner wheel is even இதுல காணுமே spinner wheel.
Interesting because
இதுல இருக்கு the random wheel அப்படின்றது it will actually have a spiral thing.
random wheel, yeah.
இதுல எது வேணா யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். You can make them do match the following. You can do like a random card. So you'll have pack of cards வந்து உல்டாவா இருக்கும். You click on that.
Random cards is also another amazing.
So இது எல்லாமே வந்து for children it will be like when is my chance coming? Oh, I'll answer it. It will be like that.
Exactly.
So இது வந்து these are very very this is a very interesting resource, so you could use this. So இப்போ இன்னைக்கு நம்ம ரெண்டு பார்த்திருக்கோம் game resources வந்து one is word wall and the other one is games to learn. Yeah, games to learn English. So இது ரெண்டுமே நீங்க இது ரெண்டுமே வந்து என்ன சொல்றது world of resources. So இது ரெண்டும் explore பண்ணுங்க. இத தவிர we have ideas like show and tell and things that you can use. Okay, so yeah, so I don't want to actually bombard you with too many things. So I will leave things here. In case you have any questions, you can ask.
Any doubts, ladies?
How long is the program?
See,
10-day program.
10 days. Yeah, 10
For
sessions.
10 days. Okay. So 10 days. So at the end of 10 days, what do we want them to achieve? What do we want them to be able to?
They need to speak some few sentences on their own.
Okay. So they need to be, first they should not be scared of speaking English. They should be able to speak a few sentences on their own. Yeah. And another thing, what else do we want them to achieve?
I think they should be able to talk about themselves or something. Somewhere I read.
Definitely about themselves also. So about themselves, teach them adjectives like, I am friendly.
Yes.
I am, I am honest. See, honest, இந்த மாதிரி வார்த்தைலாம் உங்களுக்கு ஏற்கனவே தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும். I am adventurous. So adventurous na enna? What does an adventurous person do? Okay, so things like that, you can help them. Udaya, does this place have a dictionary? In the homes lana dictionary irukuma? Theriyala.
Last year, I remember giving them the Tamil Agaradi.
Agaradi.
Yeah.
Okay. So in
If
case they
not,
have
we
dictionary,
can send them. We can give them.
so dictionary வந்து யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு we can make them do something like this. இது வந்து actually vocabulary க்கு தான், but it will actually go a long way in retaining those words in their mind. So there's something called a Freya model of for vocabulary. So in the Freya model எப்படின்னா இதுல வந்து எப்படின்னா ஒரு word மட்டுமா கத்துன. See, a lot of times when children learn words from the dictionary, what happens is that there are multiple என்ன சொல்றது, connotation is something they will never learn. Say for example, they are learning the word the example that I always remember and talk about most of the time is one of my friends had this habit of he'll open the dictionary randomly open பண்ணிட்டு அன்னைக்கு அதுல என்ன வார்த்தை அவன் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பார்க்கறானோ he will learn that word and he will use it multiple times in that day, so that becomes part of his என்ன சொல்ல part of his memory. So அந்த மாதிரி என்ன பண்ணானா, one of the words that he learned one day is flabbergasted. Okay, flabbergasted. Anybody knows what that means?
Yeah, overwhelmed. Something like overwhelmed.
Okay. So does it have a nice connotation or not so nice connotation?
It does have a nice connotation as well.
Flabbergasted?
Yeah, can be used in a nicer way as well.
So flabbergasted is usually used in the negative sense. Okay, so it is used when you are overwhelmed in the sense that you're shocked at something.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay, so that is the connotation in which we use it. So so this guy, when he used the word, he told us that I was flabbergasted this morning because my wife got up and cooked lunch for me. So we were all like, okay, you were flabbergasted because she cooked lunch for you, or what is the flabbergastedness all about? So then he was like, did I use the word right? Because it's supposed to be surprise. See, in a dictionary, it will only say surprise. So it doesn't give you the connotation to say whether it is good surprise, depending on what dictionary you use. In the pocket dictionary, so then, we went and found out a little more about the word and then found out it has a it has a negative connotation. So it's very important for the children to learn that these words have a connotation to it. For example, the word gorgeous. Where will you use the word gorgeous?
Beautiful.
Okay. So when you will use it only for people, right? You won't use it for a, you won't use it for a thing. You probably thing in the sense that you will use it for a dress, a gorgeous dress, you would say, right? You probably will not use it with food.
Yeah.
I had gorgeous dosa today. You'll never see.
More to do with the looks, actually.
Yeah. So it's got to do with the look. So we want them to understand that each word has a connotation. Ivlo actually solli kudukka vendam, but I'm just letting you know that you have to make them aware of that words have connotations and that. So adukku vandu in the Freya model is damn super useful. So any vocabulary that you teach, you help them understand the vocabulary like this. Okay, so look at the one that is selected here. So if in the Freya model, they're going to write word in the middle. In the circle, they're going to write the word. So in the definitions, we can rename it as synonym. Either நம்ம நிறைய changes பண்ணிக்கலாம். So for example, if your word is I am a very inquisitive person அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்றோம். So the inquisitive is what we want them to find out. So they will write definition or meaning, synonyms of inquisitive. So inquisitive, curious, someone who is always wants to know more. So what are the characteristics of a person who is inquisitive? They will ask a lot of questions.
Asking questions.
They're always observing things, right? So other context. If in the example, they can write a sentence. They can write a sentence saying that, anything. Chota Bheem is always inquisitive. So they have to explain why that person is inquisitive. Inquisitive why are you saying that person is inquisitive? Because he always observes what happens in his village, Dolakpur. So he is inquisitive. Or he always goes around asking people if they want help. Okay. So Andamari, what is not an example of being inquisitive. So in the இடத்துல antonyms போட்டுடலாம். Non-examples-க்கு பதிலா we can put antonyms. So இந்த மாதிரி நம்ம வந்து when we make them understand words, it will retain in their memory. So அதாவது don't do this on every day. Do this maybe twice in those 10 days. Okay, twice in those 10 days. But do something like this so that, you know, they are able to kind of retain the words better. So this is also just for your knowledge. So that the training xylem. What is you know, what are they?
Your voice is breaking, ma'am.
You can learn concepts of science.
Sorry, ma'am, it's not clear at all.
I think I was kicked out of the meeting. Okay, any other questions that you have? 10 days actually
Ma'am, how long is the what is the timing for a single session?
Timing for the single session will be somewhere between 40 to 50 minutes. 40 minutes is too less. We can take it as 1 hour.
So we should have breaks in between, ma'am?
No, not necessarily, because
Not
when other student is communicating, answering your questions, obviously, the other students will have that rest. They can take that rest.
Okay.
Okay, it's just an hour session. No need of break. If you give them break, then again connecting them back to the session, it takes another 15-20 minutes to settle them there.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So is there any format like we should start with grammar, then story, and we should do like that, or it's up to
Excuse me,
yes,
excuse me, Udaya, ma'am, it's not audible. I think the signal issues for me, so it's not audible at all.
Okay. Am I audible now?
It's very faint. I think it may be because of the monsoons. What I'll do is I'll take the recording from you later. Thank you.
Okay. So the module draft, we will definitely forward it to you. Okay. By today,
sure, ma'am.
Day end or tomorrow. So there's nothing much to cover about grammar and all.
Sure. Okay.
I have a question.
I'm back.
Can I ask, ma'am?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, since these children are from homes, how can we judge the extent of vocabulary that they have? Like on the first day, can we give them a free time where they can converse among themselves? Because we will not know what kind of exposure they've had, what kind of books they've read. So how do we judge where to start? You know, what kind of words to introduce? The level.
I would suggest that show them pictures and ask them what it is. See, என்னன்னா இவங்கள அவங்களுக்குள்ள பேச சொன்னா நமக்கு அது கேட்காது. See, because they have at one time only one child will be able to use the mic and speak. So it will be very difficult for us to, if you give them interact amongst yourselves, it will be very difficult for us to actually for us to hear what they are doing.
Okay.
So adnala vandu you can have a list of pictures that that have vocabulary that are from the simple ones to the difficult ones, and see if they are able to. See, a lot of times children, especially studying in Tamil medium, அவங்களுக்கு வந்து டக்குன்னு வர்றது தமிழ் வார்த்தை தான் வரும். You show them a square, they'll say sevagam. Saduram, sorry. Saduram. So rectangle comes sevagam. That is what அவங்களுக்கு naturally அதுதான் வரும். So அதனால you can even start with things like that. What are they saying for it? You know, are they saying circle or are they saying vattam? அதுலயே நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சிடும். அந்த மாதிரி have a combination of இது identify these pictures. Picture 1 and picture 2 and இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணீங்கன்னா it will be easy for you to understand what they know and what they don't.
5-6 community centers, so they know one another very well. Okay, and we are going to use the room breakout room concept. So each community center will have one breakout room, and we are going to divide the children like 4 to 5, one grade 7 and 8 connecting, like that. From 5 to 6, another grade set of children will be connecting.
ஓ, இது நம்ம சம்மர் கேம்ப் மாதிரி பண்றீங்களா உதயா?
Yes ma, because see, then they have only one device to connect. They don't have they'll not have the multiple devices. So in that case we have to set them as grade 6 and 7 in one group, and 8 and 9 in another group, and then we can continue. 5 to 6 one 5 to 6 p.m. one set, 4 to 5 another set. So based on the volunteers availability and convenience, we can split them like that. What do you say?
I would suggest that you have a basic framework, or at least like a okay, day 1 நம்ம எல்லாம் இது பண்ணலாம், day 2 நம்ம எல்லாம் இது பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்ற ஒரு basic framework இருந்தா it will be easy எனக்கு தோன்றது. So say day 1 all of you can focus on just understanding what they know. So show them pictures, show them different different things, or show them objects and find out what they know. So make it sound like a game so that they don't know you're actually trying to gauge them. And ask each of them to come and speak something. Ask them to come and talk about themselves. So maybe something like, typically a self-introduction panna solunga, so that you know how much they know, to talk about themselves. So they will say, I'm this person in this class, in the school, they will say. And then tell them to talk about one game that they know to play, or something like that. My favorite game is, so some of them will say chess, some of them will say football, and apart from the basic details, ask them to give one extra detail about themselves.
Ma'am, can I suggest something?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, I had done
Just call me Kavitha, whoever that is.
That's Sheila here with you. Actually, Kavitha, what had happened was I had done a course with the Stella Maris where we taught students to speak English, but these were students who had finished their 10th grade and were trying to get into colleges, but even their English was pretty weak. So the kind of things that we had done was, we had first started with the, like how you do it in primary school. First, you give them vocabularies, then you let them talk about me, myself, then me, myself, and my family. So we took it stage by stage, but that was a long program. It was like a 3-month program. So we covered a lot of grammar. But now since it's a 10-day program, so can we start in a similar way, like me, myself, my family, maybe on the first day, and then things that I like, or then things that I do, and take it like that, for a period of 3 or 5 days. Would that help?
Yes,
Going
definitely.
individual
I said you have a structure and build that structure, and all of you have something uniform. In that family ku badala me, myself, and my friends nu vena vechikalam, because these children are from homes abdingatnala family ngra concept e venda, nama adha pathi pesave venda. Though we want them to understand vocabulary, we probably kind of we want to be conscious about the fact that we don't want them to feel bad.
So you're saying instead of using the family, we can say in school, like in a classroom, the hierarchy that you have between teachers and all. Yes, done.
Yes. So that way they kind of, at the end, they will be able to say so many things about themselves. So So like you're saying, the second thing what இப்போ இதுல என்னன்னா இப்போ சின்ன குழந்தைகளை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் அதுவும் ஹோம்ல இருக்கிற குழந்தைகளை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் ஒருத்தர் ஒண்ணு சொன்னா எல்லாம் அதே தான் சொல்லுவா. வாட் டு யூ பிளே? ஐ பிளே செஸ், ஐ பிளே செஸ், ஐ பிளே செஸ். ஏன் உனக்கு வேற என்ன பிடிக்குமா? இல்ல செஸ் மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு எங்க இதுல. வாட் டு யூ லைக் டு பிளே? ஃபுட்பால், ஐ பிளே ஃபுட்பால், ஐ பிளே ஃபுட்பால். ஸோ இது யூ வில் கெட் ஆக்சுவலி ஸ்டக் இன் பிளேசஸ் லைக் தட். ஸோ இவங்களுக்கு எக்ஸ்போஷர் இருக்காது அண்ட் இவங்களுக்கு வேற என்ன இருக்குன்றது நமக்கு தெரியாது. ஸோ எவ்ரிபடி வில் சே இல்ல மேம், இல்ல ஆண்டி நாங்க எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து தான் செஸ் தான் விளையாடுவோம் அப்படின்னு தேல் சே. வாட் டு யூ லைக் அப்படின்னு கேட்டா அந்த மாதிரி there's a possibility that you will get stuck. நான் இப்போ currently I'm teaching at அருள் இல்லம். So அருள் இல்லம் is this place in வண்டலூர். So அங்க வந்து I have 8th to 12th standard kids in one batch. ஸோ இப்போ அவங்க கிட்ட போய் கேட்கும்போது வாட் ஆர் யூ குட் அட் அப்படின்னா எவ்ரிபடி சேஸ் ஐ எம் குட் அட் ஃபுட்பால் இல்லை ஐ எம் குட் அட் செஸ். இது ரெண்டு தான். யாரை கேட்டாலும் ஐ எம் குட் அட் திஸ். ஓகே வாட் டு யூ லைக் அப்படின்னா எவ்ரிபடி இது யூனிஃபார்மா தே ஆல்சோ வி லைக் பிரியாணி. ஸோ என்ன ஆகும்னா இப்போ நம்ம அதுல எப்படி நம்ம டிஃப்ரென்ஷியேட் பண்றதுன்றது நமக்கு அதுவும் ஆன்லைன் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம்ல ரொம்ப கஷ்டமாயிடும். ஸோ அதனால நீங்க choose things that you could probably ask them about their favorite hero, their favorite the madri have broader themes that you will be able to help children fit in. Favorite vegetable, so give them as many vegetables names as possible and then say which are the vegetables you put aside from your plate, which are the vegetables you actually like eating. ஏன்னா இது கொஞ்சம் ரொம்பவே பேசிக் லெவல்ல இருக்க வேண்டியிருக்கும். And please arrange to keep your cameras on when you're taking class, because for the student it's very very important that they at least have a face to look at. So when you're taking class, it's you should tell yourself that it's compulsory to have the camera on. So anala just kind of make that arrangement, because it's a lot more effective when they are able to see the teacher. And pronunciationலாம் வந்து அவங்க கேட்கலனா கூட lip sync பார்த்து they may be able to kind of get something. அதனால please keep your cameras on or please arrange in some way to kind of keep the camera on so that you're able to, so that the students are able to see. இல்லைனா it will just be like okay அவங்களே கேமரா ஆஃப் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காங்க நாங்களும் ஆஃப் பண்றோம் அந்த மாதிரி ஆயிடும். ஸோ அதனால just try and keep your cameras on for that.
Yes, Kavitha, that we will ensure that all the facilitators will definitely
keep the camera on.
Yeah, keep the camera on. Any other doubts? Fine. So
it's going to start from which week, which Saturday, ma'am?
27th.
Yeah, 27th.
And what is the age group?
So we're going to cover from class 6 to 9.
9. So 6th and 7th will be together in one class. 8th and 9th will be together in one class.
Together in one class. Okay.
So how many students in one class, one batch?
Around 6 to 7 of them.
6 to 7.
Yeah.
What about the timings, ma'am?
Timings, it will be between 4:30 to 5:30 one session, and the second session between 5:45 to 6:45.
It will happen on Saturday and Sunday.
Only on Saturdays.
Only on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is going to start from August 27th, continuously the 10 days.
Oh, no, only on Saturdays. This program will be only on Saturdays. They'll be connecting with us only on Saturdays.
Okay.
Okay. And right now they requested us for alternate Saturdays, bi-monthly only. We'll see how it progress. Maybe we can have this on consecutive Saturdays and finish this program, so that we can bring about other programs after the communicative English classes get over. because this we are going to split them into many groups. And I'll keep you posted in the group. Yeah. Anything else? Regarding the module, the structure, Kavitha is here. If you have any doubts, you can check, ask her. So I think,
And please be open to sharing information with each other, especially if you find some good resource that you want to share. Please do that, so that we can help each other in a better manner, and we can learn from each other. So see how, if you find something really interesting, please share it with the others, so that every child benefits.
okay.
Should we pre-decide on the topics that we will cover in these 8 days, so that we don't go too far from the topic and that everybody does similar things?
Yes.
Yep, we can do that.
That will definitely be planned and structured, Sheila.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So Lavanya, Pragati, Meenakshi, Arul Priya.
I've noted down all the points what Kavitha has just told.
Yeah, yellow watermelon.
Yeah, yellow watermelon. So it's very helpful, and I think I can follow all these things and give my best.
Great.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the great session. It was really interacting and helpful to understand the teaching concept as a fresher.
We're all freshers.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We all start somewhere,
very
yeah.
useful.
Thank you, ma'am. I have noted down all the points. I will get in touch in group or in each person whenever I'm stuck or getting any doubts.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Day one, what we can start on, like on day one, we can.
Day one can just, it can be informal interactions, kind of get to know what they know.
Probably you can bring the ice to a game.
Yeah.
About themselves.
Their proficiency, like the level of the students, so that we can plan accordingly for the sessions also.
Start off with Tanglish, because a lot of them will say English classன்றதுனால நம்ம இங்கிலீஷ்ல தான் பேசணும் அப்படின்னு வெச்சுக்காதீங்க. You can do Tanglish, and we want them to also listen to a lot of English. So whenever you're giving instructions, give instructions in English and check in Tamil if they understand. So make it bilingual, so that they, because especially because more so because they're all from Tamil medium. நம்ம ஃபுல்லா இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசினா அவங்க எல்லாம் இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க, எதுவுமே புரியல is what they will immediately say. So அதனால அப்பப்போ just keep checking it.
Interacting and start gazing at the television. That's it.
No, there is one, அந்த அருளிலம் மாதிரி ஒரு இடத்துல இருந்து பையன் வந்தான். அவன் வந்து கிளாஸே எடுக்க விட மாட்டான். ஆண்டி நீங்க பேசுறது புரியவே இல்லை ஆண்டி, ஏன் இவ்வளவு ஃபாஸ்டா பேசுறாங்க, நாட் ஜஸ்ட் யூ, he will interact with everybody else. உனக்கு புரியுதா அவங்க பேசுறது, என்ன சொன்னாங்கன்னு சொல்லு, like that, they'll start talking amongst themselves. Especially because we are not there in front of them, it's very difficult for us to monitor and say, hey, anga pakada inna paru. It's very difficult for us to do that. So keep the thing in such a way that they all only look at you. That's why I'm saying keeping the camera on is very important, so that they have nowhere to look at and only you to look at.
That's why we supplied them with 32-inch TV.
I know. Yes,
because last time we faced this difficulty with Arulilam and few more shelter homes. Like, they used to interact with us using laptops or a tab or a small mobile phone. The communication was not very effective. So this time we ensured that first we give them the big gadgets and make them sit and reach them the best we can. So thank you, Kavitha. You never disappoint us anytime. Whenever we call you, you're always fresh with ideas, with your knowledge. And yes, she's a very good friend of mine in college. We both are WCCIs.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's the link. Udaya is one of these great dancers you know, and எங்க வேணா அப்படியே இறங்கி குத்துறதெல்லாம் வந்து உதயாஸ் அப்படியே, those of you who know her know that side of her.
So all of the classes will be in online only, ma'am, or anytime we can meet the student person, like anything arranged like that?
Uttara, we are also coming up with physical programs
Okay.
to government school students in Chennai. Couple of
Okay.
students, schools on OMR. So
Okay.
if you are interested, you can join us there.
Sure, ma'am, sure. I am really
Sevai
interested.
Karangal, this particular program, this particular project for Sevai Karangal, it will be only online, virtual program.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Where
you.
you stay, Uttara? Your
I am from Chennai only, ma'am. I'm staying near Tamram.
Tambaram. Okay, ரொம்ப தூரம்ல இல்ல இங்கதான். Okay. Fine.
Oh.
Fine.
If
Okay.
you want me to travel on Saturday, Sunday, I am ready to travel. Not a problem.
Super cool. Okay. Get in
Even
connect
I'm
with you.
interested for direct programs, ma'am.
Sure.
Actually,
If anything
rename
is there,
yourselves.
please
Yeah,
keep us posted.
guys, rename yourselves. We actually know we know who is talking. Udaya kapra customer. Some yellow strawberry said this minutes age chara customer.
I am
Rename
Priyadarshini.
yourselves.
Yeah.
I renamed you, La Priyadarshini. I'll rename you back.
Yes.
So, Kavitha, you're my college friend. Now I have a school friend here, Ananthi. She's connected from Shanghai now.
Ah, wonderful.
Blue
Hi,
Goa.
Ananthi. Okay.
So she's very much